Welcome to a new episode of the Sports Mecca podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Abramo. As always, I'm joined by my co host, Sam Hengeli. Today, we were joined by former Eastern Washington Eagles wide receiver and 2025 NFL draft prospect, Efton Chism III. Efton, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yes, sir. What's going on, guys? I appreciate you guys just reaching out and getting me out here and on the podcast in the first place. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, as I mentioned to you before we recorded, you are one of the many college football players, or if you want to say former college football players, that have come on. Some of them have come on at the FCS, FBS level before they begin their season, begin their next chapter in the NFL. So you are wearing the East West Shrine Bowl hoodie. I know that you were a part of that as well as the Hula Bowl recently this off season. Talk about those experiences.
Yeah, I mean, both of them, they've been awesome, kind of just getting out there in a different new environment in front of scouts and with new coaches, just learning a new offense both weeks. There's definitely it brings some challenges, but man, it was awesome. Such a great experience just to be out there with those FBS guys and different guys that you kind of you see throughout like your career, but you never really get to go play against them or stuff like that. So when you get out on the field with them, it's pretty special, and I'm not taking it for granted at all.
Yeah, how did you get nominated to compete in those events?
Yeah, so Hula Bowl, I just found out like after the season they invited me. I'm not really sure how I got nominated. I think it was just like the season I had it allowed me to, and then I have a great agent, which he allowed me to get there. And then Shrine Bowl, I think it was just because of the way I performed at the Hula Bowl. And then once again, I have a great agent. And, he kind of always kept pushing for me and trying to get me into the Shrine. And then found out like I was a late ad, got added the night before, and so um, came to practice a little day late, but got going and started running soon as I hit the ground.
Yeah, um, you can familiarize Sam and I with this. It's strictly for players who have completed their college careers and are going to be playing in the NFL draft or auditioning for the NFL draft.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, did you have any players that you competed against or saw that you knew or you were familiar with?
I mean, probably like the biggest one that kind of jumps off the bat was like my quarterback was Cal McCord, so just like having him and understanding, and then Cam Miller too, our other quarterback who played at NDSU, so I got to play against him actually freshman year, and then we were just talking 2 years ago too, so I got to play against him and then play with him in this bowl. But I mean, there's a lot of familiar faces, a lot of guys you recognize out there, and bigger names at both bowls, so it's definitely special and kind of cool to be a part of because you see all these guys on the ESPN before your games, after your games, highlights, stuff like that, and then kind of get out there on the field and you kind of just get after with them and get to compete a little bit.
Hmm. So you had an illustrious college career at Eastern Washington. You had over 346 catches, 3,800 receiving yards, 37 touchdowns. But really, your best season was this past season in 2024. You had 120 catches, 1,300 receiving yards, 13 touchdowns. So obviously, you really ended your season in college career on a high note. But I am curious, last offseason was your final offseason as a college athlete. Did you do anything different in that offseason, knowing that it was your final season in college?
Yeah, I think it was just going into the off season, like as soon as that junior season ended, with the mindset of, man, like none of this is guaranteed. You got 1 year left, and like that's it. Like that's the only football that and even college football, like it's not guaranteed at all. But with the position I was in, like I got 1 season left, and that's it. Like I don't know if I'm ever play football again. Football is not like a sport you can go just play at the Y, like basketball or something like that. But so just kind of having that mindset and understanding like, man, I got to leave it all out there, regardless of what's going on. And then kind of just building a relationship with all the guys that I did this off season, and just really stepping up in that leadership role. It kind of just elevated my game. And then when I got there on the field this year, it kind of just I just let it happen. All the work that I prepared and been putting in for the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, it all just came to life this last year, and I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, we discussed this before we started recording. You finished your season towards the end of 2024 in December. So walk us through. You're now in Florida. Just walk us through since you've been in Florida, what has been going on with your schedule.
Yeah, so like you said, season got done. I took a couple weeks off to kind of relax, and then all of a sudden I was out here, just doing like the pre-draft stuff. So just been working out twice a day, pretty much all day, doing the running, the weights, all of it, and then it's been kind of, with the bowl again, so you fly to Orlando, do the Hula Bowl for a week, come back, train for 2 weeks. Then I fly to the East West Shrine Bowl, which was in Dallas. I'm out there for a week. Then I fly back here. So it's kind of just been flying all over the place. And then now I'm just back here, just straight focused on the pro day prep, combine prep, all the different the drills that we're gonna do, and just trying to get fast and do all the little things right.
So Eastern Washington has produced many NFL players and then players who went on to play at the professional level, notably Cooper Cup, who has had just an amazing season so far. Sorry, amazing career so far in the NFL. Kendrick Bourne, and then I don't know if you remember him, but he played for several years before he transferred to Oregon. Vernon Adams was the quarterback at Eastern Washington. So out of those players, there could be other players that I'm forgetting. But have you contacted any of them? Have you spoke to any of them throughout your college career or during the NFL draft process?
Yeah, I think Eastern's got a pretty cool relationship just with at least I just with like all those former players, even like guys like all three of those guys, and then other guys like Michael Roos is a great name that I've been leaning on heavy. Simba Webster's another big name, but just guys that, man, they if you reach out to them, man, they're not they don't feel a certain type of way. Like they're always reaching back, trying to give help to us. And so I've been able to I've been blessed and been able to contact those guys and just pick their brain about like what they went through, certain situations they did, just getting ready for all these interviews and combine prep and just different things that they did that helped them. And then even early on in my career, like what they did in the off season that helped them elevate their game. So I've been blessed enough to talk to all these guys, and I'm just thankful that we got a good pipeline here at Eastern.
Is Cooper Cup a NFL receiver that you try to emulate?
Most definitely. I think it's easy when he comes from my school, and I can relate to him a little bit too, but man, I think he's just a great receiver. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league. And so kind of sad to see that he's parting ways with the Rams, but I love that dude, and just kind of watching him and modeling my game after him really helps me elevate myself as well.
Yeah, an interesting tidbit that I found out. Uh, I didn't know while I was watching your games, but I found out that or I guess you wore a lot of different customized cleats during your college career. What really got you into wearing the different customized cleats before each game?
Yeah, I always kind of was into art in high school, and then when COVID happened again, I got like back into it, and I just kind of it was something to kind of just do on my free time, and so I just started painting, doing stuff like that, and then all of a sudden it got to painting shoes, and then all of a sudden it was like, man, let's just paint some cleats. And I'm a part of a couple a big foundation. I'm a part of his Big Heart Big Smile. So I kind of that's kind of where it started. So I started wearing some blue cleats with different meanings on them, stuff like that. So I started doing that, and then from there it was kind of just like, man, I'm gonna just try to wear a different pair of customs, something into it that means something to me. And then when I started doing it, it was like, man, like this is just like a lot of hard work I'm putting into these cleats too. So I just wanted to show them off and kind of just wear them, and just it just adds a little something too. 'Cause I'm not too flashy, so I don't like wearing all the different sleeves and stuff like that. So I just want to throw on a nice pair of cleats, I feel good.
So Eastern Washington, to my knowledge, is the only college football field with a red turf. When did you first know about Eastern Washington's unique turf?
Yeah, so I grew up I grew up like 4 hours away from Eastern, so it was pretty close. I always paid attention to it. My uncle actually played there. So I got to understand Eastern Washington at an early age. You know, that was his favorite team. My dad was always talking about it, so it was kind of always kind of Eastern ties in the house and in the family. So growing up, I always was an Eastern fan. I always was drawn towards the red field, and then like in high school we always did like our summer camps there for our football team, so we would go out there, stay the week and kind of just play football and just get out there with the squad. So it was awesome just kind of growing up around Eastern Washington and then eventually getting to go to Eastern Washington.
Give me your top three moments uh, of playing on the red turf.
Number one, beating Montana, 2021 season. It was like our first night game that I've ever done since I've been there. That was awesome. um I think the second one is when we beat Tennessee State. That one stands out to me just because coming off of a season where we lost a lot of seniors, and that was like our first big game, and kind of just starting the way we wanted to was awesome.
Mhm.
Um, and let me think here. What's another good one? I really like another one this year was that Monmouth, that first game of the season, because we always wear red on the first home game of this of the season. So doing that all red on the red, and then kind of coming out with a bang, which was awesome.
So now you're going into the NFL process. How do you focus on the process each day to reach your goals?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's just taking one day at a time, step by step, moment to moment. I think a lot of people get caught up in the end goal of all the testing and all the stuff you got to do at the very end. But man, if you're not focused each and every day on the little tasks at hand, such as like, man, some people like, I'm not nobody that we're working out with here, but I know in college, like some people have a hard time just waking up and just even getting the weights and stuff like that. So just the simple things like that, like man, you got to do that every day. And if you're tired, man, you got to get past it, keep going, keep grinding, because like we don't have time for that here, because there's only so many days that we're guaranteed here to train before we got to go out there. And all of a sudden you gotta rest week. And man, it's just so just trying to take every day not for granted, and just kind of keep building and building on everything I'm doing.
What are some like ways, maybe kind of like self talk when there are those days when you're not feeling your best? Maybe you're not feeling that well. Maybe you're kind of like maybe having like an injury or something like that's just bugging you like physically. How do you like try to get past that?
Yeah, big thing for me is just like visualizing things. So I like to kind of sit down and kind of just see myself, what I'm doing, walking through it. Even if I can't do it, I'll kind of just sit around, watch other people do things like that. Another thing I love to do is just kind of journal, write down in a notebook like certain things I want to get done today. I do that at the beginning of the day and then come back to the journal at the end of the day and kind of write down what I got done, things that I felt like went well. I try to not to, I don't really like to write down the negative things, because just, it's putting negative things out there. So, more positive stuff you write down, you say to yourself, more likely those things happen. So I try to just always, keep going that way. And then, like visualization, I got these sticky notes back here that all got different, quotes, stuff like that. My parents wrote for me, my sister, my friends. So kind of just waking up, looking at things like, man, like, yep, I'm ready to go. So like that's kind of just the way I go about it.
Mhm. If there was one thing you learned from your college career, what would you have told your freshman self about the college experience?
I'd probably say that, man, there's gonna be so many ups and downs. Don't get too highs with the highs, and don't get too low with the lows. Going into college football, there's a lot of unknowns, and especially with me during COVID, it was a crazy time just getting there in the middle of COVID. But man, just like always stick to the script, stick to what you believe in, stick with, trust your heart, trust your gut. Because man, there's so many people that kind of, at least when I was there, like gave up and kind of quit playing, stuff like that, because they had other things come up in life. But man, if you're really dedicated to this sport, just always keep going no matter what's going on in your life.
Absolutely, that's some really great words of wisdom right there. Um,
Appreciate it.
yeah, for sure. So throughout your college career, what were some favorite venues you played in besides your home venue?
For sure. I mean, love Eastern Washington. Like you said, the red field, man, it's awesome. I love playing at Montana. That's a great place to play. They got a great atmosphere, great fans. I've been blessed enough to play. I played in the Raiders Stadium, which was awesome.
Mhm.
So getting to go down there play against UNLV, which is so cool. That's an awesome stadium. And then playing in the Vikings Stadium as well, which was super cool. Kind of getting to experience those NFL stadiums is something different. And then um, got to play at the University of Florida and the University of Oregon. Those were awesome games as well. Just kind of getting to experience the SEC and then going up and playing Oregon, which is close to home, kind of. So kind of always just seeing the Oregon logo all over the place. But man, it was. I've been blessed to play at some cool spots, so
Yeah,
definitely not taking it for granted.
yeah, awesome. And I think for like when you played at UNLV, was it an artificial turf field or was it grass?
No, it was turf. I think
Okay.
it was honestly the first. I think it was the first game ever played in that new stadium when they built it.
Oh wow, yeah. So I
So it was
know,
pretty cool.
yeah, because I know with the Raiders, they usually play on grass because that was kind of like the traditional thing.
Yeah, they had the grass field. It's kind of crazy. They have the grass field sitting outside, and so they just like lift up these things and they wheel the whole turf in and lay it down on top of the turf. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And it's also you mentioned those two stadiums, those two NFL stadiums, because it is Super Bowl Sunday, and both of those stadiums have had a Super Bowl there.
Absolutely, yes,
That's
sir.
pretty cool. So going back to like where you are now, what do you look forward to most about the process of becoming a professional football player?
I'm looking forward the most, kind of just getting there and getting that opportunity because, as a young football player, you're always looking like, man, I'm trying to play in the NFL. I'm trying to do everything I can to do that. So, just getting that opportunity just to get there. Man, I can't wait. I've been super thankful, super blessed. I'm not in it for all the money and all the fame and stuff like that. Like, man, it's gonna mean something to me when I get there and there's my name in the locker room with Chism the third on the back of a jersey and the little NFL logo on the middle of my chest with whatever team it is, man. That's probably what I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and not very few people get the opportunity that you're about to have. And my last question to you is: any advice to those chasing a dream? What would be your words of wisdom?
Kind of what I said earlier, like with whatever dream you got, if it's sports or if it's a business or kind of whatever, man, you're gonna go through some struggles. You're gonna go through some hardships, but man, it's just how do you persevere through those hardships and struggles, and ultimately those struggles and hardships are gonna what make you in the end. So just always fighting and don't ever give up through those hard times.
That's awesome. Love that. Love that advice.
Yeah, Efton, appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. And I know when the NFL draft rolls around in April, we will be keeping track of your name. And hopefully, when it gets announced, we can say that we had a 2025 NFL draft pick on the podcast.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for reaching out. You guys asked awesome questions. So, man, it was awesome. I thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, appreciate your time. Best of luck to you in the NFL draft process, and hopefully you'll get the opportunity to play in the league, and we'll be following your career.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Best of luck to you guys, too. Make sure this podcast keeps going up.
All right.
Yeah, and we will. I don't know if you were told about this before you came on, but we're all available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and then we have our social medias on Twitter or X, and then Instagram. So whenever our podcast is uploaded for this recent episode, it'll be out and then it'll be tagged on your profile. So people like you or people who follow Eastern Washington or college football will be able to find you.
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.